Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Firefighters podcast, where we seek to develop, inspire, and motivate the world of the emergency services operator through a series of wide-ranging conversations. Now, before we go any further, just hit that rate, follow, or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to. It's a key performance indicator for us and helps us reach even more people. Now, here's what we've got for you today. One of the things I wanted to speak to you about was what I love about Fit for Rescue is this sort of rejection of quick fix firefighter fitness that we've seen a lot of, and we speak about it before on any sort of fitness. It doesn't be about the fire service, but there's this line that we've said before about boring consistency, not just hype. And you help people kind of fall in love with that process, not just the outcome or the test state or something like that. So talk to me about the difference between when you're working with people trying to join the services in the sector versus people who live the lifestyle.
So I'd go as far to say people that are trying to join have got very definitive cut-off dates.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the time they've had the call for the test, and now they're panicking that they may not be sort of up to the mark.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's understandable. When all those years ago, when I was going through the process, I kind of got to a point where my fitness was good. I knew what I needed to do. The information wasn't necessarily there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was trying to search out what I needed to do. But I still got to that point then where I wasn't just training for that test.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of going, and I try and sort of instill this with anybody that I speak to and come through sort of the coaching, is that we're not just training for the recruitment process. We're training for the recruit's course. Like the recruit's course is that. So that's what we're looking at. Obviously, we have to pass those tests, but we're going that step further. You're always kind of looking at that next goal. So this is the goal, but you've got a longer term process. And that's where, when you look at stuff like these 8-week challenges, like for me at the moment with the 12-week thing that I'm doing, it's 12 weeks. We're working on that 12-week bit. When you give somebody a specific time frame, they'll work to that. They'll work to that 8 weeks. So they'll expect to get a set number of things. And the amount of times I've done that, when I've gone into like programs and stuff, and people go, right, we're going to do this for 8 weeks. This is the 8-week challenge. Yeah. You work to 8 weeks.
And we all like journeys as well, don't we?
Journeys.
We like a journey. We like a story.
Oh, yeah.
We get, there's the peak and the trough and the story and the victory. That's that. As we love it.
Everybody loves wins.
High five the cross over the finish line and embrace our colleague that's been on this battlefield with us.
Yeah. But I think almost when you get that win, like people that do like 5K, 10K, half marathons, they do the 5 and then they go, what if it was a 10?
Yeah.
And then they'll do the 10 and go, what if it's a half? They get hungry. And at I've got somebody in my coaching, Ava, who I put all over socials. Brilliant.
Okay.
So she started out as she was a new firefighter on station, and she was concerned about wanting to be an asset, wanting to make sure, exactly as we said, nobody looked at her as somebody that was like a liability. So we looked at that. We looked at getting her strong, getting her fit. So there was no doubt whatsoever. And this is where some of the sort of variety in goals come in with what I do. I don't focus just on like physical goal. So, deadlifting like 100 kilos, whatever. It's about not doubting, especially as a firefighter, not doubting your ability to do something. Obviously, there are certain things that are outside of the remit and you're always going to struggle with. You're never expected to do everything. But pretty much the day-to-day stuff, knowing that you can do it. And we moved on from that point Whereas she goes, you know what, I really fancy doing a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, let's look at that. Brilliant. And then she's literally just done an ultra, because it was like, so she did the half and then she did the ultra. I'm trying to push her to do the firefighter challenge as well.
Yeah.
And it's these little bits. It's like, once you start, I think it becomes infectious. But going back to what it sort of started at, because I've gone off on a way tangent.
No. Oh, before you go, hold that in your mind, because I want to talk about that. Women, in a man's world. I think there's a lot of cultural signals that show how women often feel like they are pushing uphill in spaces historically shaped for men.
Yeah.
There's not necessarily universal truths about it, just like common patterns that pop up again and again and again across workplaces, media, just everyday life. Like, one is the double standard around confidence. A man who speaks boldly and is seen as decisive, and even in the fitness space, there's a couple of them out there. But women that do that are, there's one woman, certainly in the UK Fire and Rescue Service fitness space, and women that give that sort of bold, decisive confidence are seen as difficult or abrasive. It forces women to walk a tightrope that men seldom even notice is there. And most others, the movies and the television still treat powerful women as exceptions rather than like defaults. The lone female firefighter, the single woman in the boardroom table, the woman in the technical field. Like, women almost expect themselves to have to do more. Like, I think when you look at the recruitment stuff, and when I speak to women that are going for it, they're almost twice as prepared. They talk about needing to know every detail before speaking up, because any small slip is judged even harder. A guy would waffle off, oh yeah, I'll run some hose. I know you guys use 64s, 45s, 52s, 38s, whatever. But if a woman came in and said, oh yeah, I went and had a go on my, she's probably done it 10, 15 more times than he has. But if she said, I went and used the yellow sort of 60 more hoses, and people are like, the 64s are red. Okay. They'd be like, fucking idiot. There's almost a much bigger condescension that happens with that. Men can improvise without fear of being written off. Like, we just sort of ride it through on our confidence, So I wonder if, as much as the inclusivity and equity and all that sort of stuff, I think that they're still preparing and training twice as hard as probably most men are.
Yeah.
I think.
Like, I've seen it when I've done the JRTs. Like, the majority of women turn up and they are prepared. Like, I have probably, I'd almost go as far to say an 80-20 split of female clients to male. And that's because women want to be ready. And they want to feel like
top off.
I tell you what, that is one thing.
I'm joking.
I tell you
I'm the fucking worst for it.
I am. It's one of them. Recently, now I've been doing this little cut. Yeah, you might see a little bit more, but it's
know
one
what?
of those.
They would still, not just women, but like anyone, if you were out there with your top off in the gym doing your thing, people would still look at you or other men and just go, yeah, that's just a really fit guy. And then they go, look at all the training he must know. If they see a woman fitness influencer in a shorts and top, short top, crop top, whatever they're called, sports bra, doing it, they'd be like, oh, people would just follow you because they want to get in your pants. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, well, no, they might also be very knowledgeable about the thing that they're doing, but we sexualize women a lot more than men, don't we?
And you see the comments. Yeah. And you see the comments.
You see the comments.
Like those people's posts. It's like, oh, you're only doing that because you're a woman. You're only doing that because of this. You want the views. You want that. And it takes it back to what we were saying about, if seeing women prepared for those tests, I love it. Because you know what? It shows that they're hungry. They want that role. I've seen men rock up and they take it for granted. They're in shit state. They manage to pass the tests just because of their size. It's, 80 kilo, 90 kilo man picking up the 50 kilo dummy is very different to a 65 kilo woman picking up the 55 kilo dummy.
Weight is relative.
Exactly.
Definitely. Mass moves mass. You know?
Exactly. And I love it when I see the women turn up and they absolutely nail it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've put that.
But they still have to go about it in a different way.
Yes. Yeah. They have to put that effort in, but they turn up like they've got to. And the issue is.
They'll also be judged on their attitude.
Yes.
You know, like a man, if a man comes and is really ambitious and driven, like it's applauded often. You're like, oh God, this motherfucker's got so much self-belief, like wicked. You know, I mean, a driven woman is warned. Be patient, be polite, be grateful. We encourage female ambition and grit so long as it's comfortable for everyone else. Not if you're a dick or if we think you're a bitch boss. You know, we're like, you get back in your box. You know, I'm going to fail you, just teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think no, it's weird.
I do think the fire service has massively changed over the last, I think people like to say a lot longer than it actually is. I'd say probably the last 10 years. It's starting to see a change. But like what we were saying, if somebody fails at something, if a woman fails at something, it's because she's a woman. If a man fails at something, it's just because he's a bit shit or he was having a bad day. And that's
test was rigged.
problem.
It's a job for the boys. You know, you only got in because your mates were so-and-so or you visited that station. Now maybe you're a bit shit. This episode is brought to you in partnership with Godiva Limited. Godiva is one of the world's leading providers of specialist equipment for emergency services market. Godiva produces a comprehensive range of fire pumps, including vehicle-mounted, portable, and their cutting-edge integrated total water flow control system, SAMFlows. I've been using Godiva my entire career as a reliable pump on the fire ground. It is such a crucial element of a successful firefighting team that you want to empower your crews with the very best, reliable, quality product. Reach out to our partners by checking the notes in the podcast. Now back to the show. But also, we should always be there to defend the standard.
Yes.
You know, I'm all for removing barriers, but not for changing barriers or changing things. You know, I think we have personally. I think there's a lot of behavioural and cultural stuff, but I think in terms of metrics and standards, we've removed all the barriers. I don't want that pendulum to swing too far, pushed by the weight of equality, equity, and inclusivity to the point where we get so open-minded our fucking brains falling out. Do you know what I mean? We still need to have this driven by logic and remember the job that we're actually here to do.
I would like to see some of the fitness tests increased to get in. The strength test, definitely. Because the
strength test is an interesting one because that, again, might be slightly sexual. Sexual? What's the word I'm looking for? Sexist. There you go. Sexual.
Certain things, I think. So the rural test, for instance, the equipment carry, that's the same test that I did 20 years ago to get in. And we've now got heavier cutters, heavier spreaders that we're using. Now, while some of the equipment is there, but there is and especially with like the dummy drag, I would like to see a heavier dummy.
Well, that was the answer that the Firefit Council, is it Firefit? Yeah, that's the one that the gentleman from there who I had on the podcast didn't have the best answer for. And I said that to him with respect, and he was also open to going, yeah, you know, because they base it on the average weight of the population a number of years ago. But that is the wrong data set to pull it from.
Wasn't it also supposed to be like half of if you had like a team of two? Yeah.
Yes, because it's a team of two and it's half of the average weight of the... Not all of the population gets stuck in fires because the people that get stuck in fires are those that are of generally poor health, couldn't get themselves out by themselves. They might be infirm, poor mobility, overweight, bedbound, whatever. It's not small children, typically, that are getting stuck in fires. And second, B, is you're never doing it as a team of two. Not never. No. You're more often than not doing it as a team of two. Because guess what number one's doing? Managing the hose reel, holding the tick, doing the other stuff. They're leading you out. And that's how we train people. Yeah. We train you to do it, but I mean, we do show you how to do it as a team of two.
Yeah.
But in a BA where it's
You're not
you.
doing that. Yeah.
You're not doing that. The doesn't when it collides with reality, you are doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
So you must do it by yourself with that. So that's where the logic kind of makes sense. Okay, half the national average. Okay, I think the national average that you're using is wrong. And then second, the fact you're asking people to just do half of it and they'd be doing it by themselves. What we're going to do, leave the lower torso in there? What the fuck are we doing? No, you're bringing the whole thing out by yourself and it's heavier than that. That's the math that we should be optimizing for.
And this is where I'd like to see. I almost feel it's a testing regime now that is almost setting people up
for failure.
Even with ongoing like training. Having a conversation with somebody yesterday. They put loads of effort in to pass the tests, and then they've been in for like 6 months, they've done all the training, they've done BA and everything, and now they're on station, they're on on-call station, and they're like, I don't know what next, because even the fitness test is this, it's not that. And I mean, I put a post out the other day about, if you're a firefighter and you don't think that you could pass the initial rural test tomorrow, you need to do something. Like the initial test that any firefighter now should be able to go and absolutely nail those tests without any doubt whatsoever. And if you've got any doubt, then you probably need to do a bit more. But again, they're not, especially when it comes to dummy drag. I know people go, well, we don't get casualties out all the time. That makes it even more important because we don't get them out all the time. And the training dummies,
it doesn't matter.
No.
Military prepare for war their entire career, and something like 87% of them will never do it.
Yeah. You do the drills and everything.
They will never deploy to a conflict zone. Ever.
You do the drills so you're slick when it happens. When you do get that, in that tight bedroom, not on a drill ground, in the tight bedroom where you've got to drag somebody off a bed first and now they're on the floor, you've got smoke around your head so you can't see properly, you're having to feel. And this brings me on a little bit nicely to a bit of a health and safety point, because the service that I'm in, because of an incident that happened where somebody twinged their back, our training dummies are no heavier than 30 kilograms. And and the thought process behind that is that you don't need the weight, it's about the manual handling technique. Well, I'm sorry, the manual handling technique comes from lifting up that weight. If you're not able to lift that weight up in a safe, controlled environment, you 100% aren't going to be able to do it on a job, or you're going to struggle on a job.
Again, I think there's been a clever cognitive switch here, which is I agree with what they're saying, and that applies to manual handling training.
Yes.
Which is where you do manual handling training by your service as part of your initial recruitment, and you pick up an empty box. Yeah. And they look at your technique and your positioning around the central load. Are you assessing where you're going, the journey, the route, blah, 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 the shape of the load, all of that jazz. That is the thing you do for initial. So like we have a light version of a 13.5 that's just got the bottom round on it. That's got the jack beam, and then it's had the other rounds taken off it. And we use that for training.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to drop the big thing straight away. And it's awkward, always awkward, when you're doing the confined space, blah, blah, blah. And then when you train every day, you will use the 13.5 on station. That is the big heavy one and blah, blah, blah. You don't go, well, it's just about technique, Pete. I just want to hear the words of command when they pivot it. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to map over.
No.
You're going to fail and drop it.
You can't do...
And you're going to hurt someone. You're going to hurt yourself. And you're going to drop it on somebody else.
When you're on a job, you struggle to do, tile, task, individual load, environment.
Yeah.
You struggle to do that because it's not a safe...
Well remembered.
I know. It was on them of going, I'll just drop that one in. It's like, you struggle to do that. You can't do that in a bedroom because actually, if you actually did that, you'd go, oh no, I can't do this because I I can't get this right, and now I've got to drag this person down the stairs. You know,
you're not going to radio out and go, "Can someone just do me a calculation?" Because I know safe working load is 25 kilos at waist height. I think this person's. Will you get them out or not? Are you getting them out or not? Do we send another team in? There's less questions.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have to train as safe as we can for the unsafest environments that we go into. Mm-hmm. And our job at times is inherently has an element of danger, hence why we see occasionally, sadly, firefighter deaths, because it's one of those things, it's inherently dangerous what we do, and there is no way of getting past that.
But our professional obligation can only go so far as in from your organisation, because the organisation is the easier get out, the easier excuse. I've given you really expensive, really technical clothing. I've given you really expensive kit. I've given you time, resource, policy, procedure. But again, from the services perspective, with respect and senior leadership and everybody else and health and safety team, the you bit is outside of their sphere of control. And that's where the excuses come in. Like, excuses make today really easy and tomorrow hard. Discipline makes today really hard, but tomorrow really easy. Like, take me into that realm for a second. Like, when you hear these excuses, what are the most common excuses you hear from firefighters around fitness and behavior, and how do you help them move through excuses to discipline?
So a lot of the time, probably the biggest one, I haven't got time.
Okay.
I haven't got the time. And a lot of the time they'll actually say, I tell myself I haven't got the time, but I could probably make the time. The reality is nobody has the time. Nobody has time for anything. You prioritize what you put your time to. And again, the conversation we were having before we started recording properly, about like having half a day. I'm very much the same. It's like if somebody comes to me with a social event, I'm like, ooh, I'll have to plan that in. Like my whole life is planned, because if it's not, nothing gets done. And I think with that,
stuff does get done, but just the other mediocre bullshit that the rest of the world would like you to do.
Yes, you have to. Life is a load of sacrifices. You sacrifice one thing to do something else, and I
always say there's no solutions, only trade-offs.
Yeah.
I think it was a Buddha or something that was like, life is suffering. You must choose your suffering. The suffering of doing it or the suffer of regret. Yeah. Everything is an exchange. Everything is a swap. When I say to someone, I don't think I've got time for that this Sunday, what I'm actually saying is, the thing you're offering to me is not as important as the other thing I'm doing. That's all I'm really saying, but it sounds harsh if people say that. So we say I haven't got time, but what I'm really saying is I'm choosing right now to be here talking to you rather than being with my missus on a Sunday midday eating lunch with her right now, because this is important to me. I think Chris is an interesting person and I would like to have this conversation with him and do this. And I'm actively choosing not to be with my daughter, be with my missus. I'm choosing not to be at the gym. I'm choosing not to go and change that front right bulb on my vehicle that's been out for 3 weeks. Genuine truth. Took the bulb with me to station yesterday. Also didn't have time to do it during stand down, but I did have time, but I didn't make the time.
And
that's all it is. It's a choice.
That is the biggest thing. It's about where you put your priorities and how you feel about them. So a lot of the time when people go, I haven't got the time, I can't find the time, it's actually the fact of them going, I don't know what I need to do, and I'm worried about what I need to do. Social media, massively great platform, but what you see on there is firefighters doing high rocks, firefighters doing these like really complicated workouts, and they're doing this and they're doing that. And there's nothing wrong with those, nothing wrong with them at all. But if you keep getting fed those and people go, I'm really worried about that. I've never done anything like that. And now,
Yeah.
I'm seeing like, that's what everything is on these
Yeah.
platforms. And I'm
You've
like,
got to
oh my
meet
God.
someone where they are. Because you're
Yes.
like saying, ready, we're going to jump from step 0 to step
Yep.
24. And they go, I can't fucking leap that far.
Yeah.
I cannot leap that far. Do you know what I mean? Take me back to one step in front of the other.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to ask me to do a Strictly Come Dancing. Take me back to the hokey cokey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do the hokey cokey.
Yeah.
Okay, take me there.
So much is what people feel they have to do, or they might have to do, and they're worried. They're genuinely like panicked. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And actually, sometimes it is just that thing of like coming back and going, there you go. This is what we're going to do, and let's walk you through it. How are you getting on? Like, let's just take it nice and steady. I think a lot of the time, some people just have no inclination.
Mm-hmm.
Like they literally, especially some of the people that have been firefighters for a long time, it's like, I'm not going to change. I want to do this. I want to eat that. And I get.
Is it a will or is it a skill? Do you not have the will to do it, or do you not know what you're doing? Because the not knowing what you're doing is a diminishing excuse in a world of ever accessible resources. It's not the resources that are the problem, it's your resourcefulness. Do you give a fuck? Do you know what I mean? You can access 1,000 workouts, 1,000 videos. In fact, shameless post, and I hate to do it to you because I don't want to trigger you in this, but you know the cardio fitness people, the fire decks. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've got some.
Oh, wicked. I don't know if you'd be pissed off because like you didn't come up with the idea. But on these, they're great, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They're idiot proof.
Yeah,
you
brilliant.
have them in the gym. What's this one? Legs on fire, 10 squats, 10 lunges, 20 squats, 20 lunges, 30, 40, 50. It's a normal rating and advised. You can do it, make it a bit harder, and tune it can be a set if you want. Twat proof. Yeah,
yes.
Easy. Shameless post. We don't make any money from it, but they give them away as part of our competitions. These are fantastic. These are. Oh, these got this. This is the ones at the front because I did this 2 days ago. You know, we're doing that 9/11 challenge.
Yes.
They've got a 3-4-3 9/11 workout.
Oh.
50 step ups, 50 push ups, 50 tire flips, 50 tire hits, 50 squats, 50 sit ups, 43 burpees. I love that 3-4-3 9/11 workout. Now again, I haven't got a tire on station. Okay, use a medicine ball.
Yeah.
Use a kettlebell. Doesn't really matter. Just flip it up. It's a nice little way to gamify it, isn't it? But I only bring those up to say that it's not got to be that complex, gang. You know, we're making this harder than it needs to be sometimes.
Well, even, I mean, I haven't done it yet. Again, this is one of those things. I haven't had the time to do the post yet. But even
you haven't made time.
I haven't made time. I haven't made the time.
Subtle flip in our language. Yeah. We've got to do it, haven't we?
It's like a normal deck of cards. Normal deck of cards and doing that.
Yeah, again, you haven't got to buy that shit.
No. But again, if you don't know,
you just write down clubs, hearts, diamonds, spades. That's squats, that's lunges, that's press-ups, that's sit-ups. And then just pull them out and work through the deck. 9, 12, 18. 18, that's not cards. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's that... I think some of it is just people have no inclination. They're there going, I get by, I'm okay. And there is definitely some of that. There is definitely some of that there. Is that I'm not a fitness person. Yeah. I'm not a fitness person.
And also, you barely passed the test, but you did pass the test. You know, one of my favourite quotes from a previous guest, John McDonough, where he says, firefighters will rise to a level of mediocrity that avoids further scrutiny. Banging quote. John McDonough, 2024 or whatever it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, we will rise to that ever lowering standard.
Yeah.
To avoid further scrutiny. We're just good enough for someone not to say we're the shit one. And that's not everybody. It probably makes me sound like a bit of a wanker. But like, it's not everybody. But it's accepted. That's the problem. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Take me back to those standards for a minute, because I know we're talking about standards. And I have this problem, just to go back to recruitment for a second, about anybody can be a firefighter, Chris.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure they can. In a
Oh,
world
sorry.
where
I
people
mean,
talk a lot about
yeah,
inclusivity and retention, which are obviously important, but there's a brutal line that is creating soft standards that everyone can meet for a hard job not everyone can do is
that's the point.
irresponsible and unethical.
Yeah, anybody could be a firefighter, but not everybody
Yeah.
can be.
No.
And that's the point. It's not just a physical job; it's a mental job as well. And you have to have the mindset to be able to do it. Like some people come in. Again, I've tested some people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I smashed that test out." It's like, mate, you're a knobhead. Like you have not got the right mentality. Just because you've passed that physical test does not mean that you are then the right person to be a firefighter.
That's Goodhart's law. Do you know what Goodhart's law is?
No, go
on. So when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure.
Yeah.
So VO2 figures, treadmill cutoffs, bleep versus Chester versus walk tests. We have started training people to beat the metric rather than train for reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to be learning to dance before the music starts. You don't want to have to go, well, I passed the Chester treadmill test, I've passed the bleep test. Can you give examples of that where like incidents or times or training where you've realized this is not the time to discover I am unfit? This is where I cash in everything I did in the quiet sessions to be able to survive the reality of what I'm being asked to do. I think you did post about it, about running up some stairs a little while ago.
Yeah. So I had...
It is beyond a privilege to be able to bring the Firefighters podcast to you, and we are so grateful for every single person that supports, listens, shares, and follows our journey. But here's the honest truth. It takes a colossal amount of time and work to keep the podcast going. And to help us keep doing it, create more, reach more guests internationally, and make the podcast sustainable, we're asking for you to help. And to do this, we've set up a Patreon page. Now, by joining this, you'll not only support the future of the podcast, but also gain access to exclusive benefits. Now, if you've ever wanted to meet a member of the podcast, buy us a beer, buy us a coffee, and you think anything you've ever listened to on the podcast has been worth £3, that's basically what we're asking you for. By joining our Patreon community, you will get access to every single full episode archive we have ever made. Now, hundreds and hundreds of key documents that we've got in there on fire behaviour, firefighter health, cancer risks, instant debriefs, and so much more. So if you feel like you want to join the Patreon crew and help us make this possible, head to patreon.com/TFFPC or check the link in any episode podcast notes.
There's a couple of jobs that stick in my head, to be fair. But there was a person's reported house fire, and it was about 11:30 at night, and I was on day crewed at that point, so I was on call. I'd come in from home, and I think it's one of those, you come in, you never know what you're going to. You know, it could be a standby, it could be a fire, and as it happens, it's person reported. And I was a crew manager at the time, and I was sat in the back. And we're having those repeat calls, those calls that everybody is there listening. You're hearing it on the radio, you know, controller there going. We're on the phone to the caller. She's in one room at the back. The window's open. There's smoke coming out the bedroom window. Her mum's in the bedroom next door that she can't get to. And there's a fire downstairs. So obviously straight away, like you're getting goosebumps because you're like, this is it. This is what we're going to. And
you're fucking vibrating with excitement in the back.
Yeah. And I remember turning around to the watch manager and I was like, mate, are you happy that I know what I'm doing? Like when we rock up, because obviously they need to go to the front to let the BA team in. I'll go to the back. And he's like, yeah. So we have to park about 100 meters away, just because of the access to it. And you can see the orange glow where this house is. So it's like,
love it.
Shit. And it's like, you're there and you're going, right, fuck it, come on. And I jump off and I run down and go to the back garden, boot the gate open. I did try it first. I didn't just like dive straight in. But it was locked. So straight in. And I can see this fire at at the back door, underneath like a concrete, like porch bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see the woman hanging out the window, and she's like, my mum's in the bedroom next door. Like, and there's all this smoke going in through the window. And it's one of them literally just going, right, I want you to get down on the floor. I'm going to come back in like 30 seconds. Leg it back to the truck, grab the Short-X off, leg it back with the Short-X, like over my shoulder as you do. And the first thing, I know that woman's safe. I put it up to the concrete porch, and this is where I got told off by a group manager that turned up as well. Put it up to the concrete porch, climb onto the concrete porch roof to shut the window that was open that's letting the smoke in. Go back to the woman, climb in, and get it down. And it was probably about, and the dog. Got the dog out as well because she had to get the dog.
Didn't get bitten. Well done.
Didn't get
dogs
bitten.
Dogs act weird.
Little Jack Russell. But I think what it was, like
they're usually horrible.
I've got dogs of my own. And it's that thing of going, you just have to pull them in. If there's it's already a nerve-wracking environment for them. If you're sort of loose with it and sort of holding that here, they're going to be nervous.
Oh, yeah.
But it was one of those things after, when all of that stuff's done, everybody's out, they've got everybody safe, the BA crew have gone in the front. And it's that point after, probably 15, 20 minutes, where you've got water on the fire, it's starting to do its thing, and you sort of take a breath and you go, fucking hell. Like, there was no hesitation, no doubt. And when I say, like, running, it's sprinting in fire kit with ladders, like,
which you're always going to do.
Which you're always
going to do. So when we go, don't run it, don't run it.
Yeah,
that's a liberty. That is a elite, privileged opinion because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By the time you get into the position where you're making the policies, you're not on the truck anymore.
No.
So you have a blurred sense you have a distorted memory. We all do. I mean, go, well, in my day, I mean, we did train hard and everything like that, but we were so prepared, we didn't need to run. Fuck off. Yes, you did.
Of course
you should have. If you didn't do, then you probably could have done more.
Yeah. Okay. Even now, as a watch manager, when I jump off, I'm doing my 360. I'm not strolling. No. I'm not strolling doing my 360. If I need to get to the back of a house to see what it is, I'm doing
anything.
Around.
I'm scrambling over a fence. I'm doing whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not going to ask every other firefighter to do that. And when we've got a bit more of an appraisal of what the crack is, then maybe we'll get a ladder to go over that, fence that I've just fallen over. But I'm just going to get round there because I need to know what's going on.
Yeah. It's all those bits. But I think the biggest thing with that is those jobs may never come.
Yeah.
And I think that's, everybody trains for that job. But the reality is not everybody gets them. And they're very rare that actually even people don't see them. So they end up, there can be a sense
they end up genuinely believing that it will never happen.
Yeah.
That's not a true story. Chris was just lying then. That was bullshit. Because I've done X. I've done 30 years in the fire service and I've never had to do that, Chris. So what?
Yeah.
I've done 20 years and I never went to Grenfell. Doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah. It's like the 21 elderly people that I helped to rescue from a care home that was on fire. That is one of those once in a lifetime jobs that people will look at. They'll never have that. And I never thought I'd have that. But we should be training for those what ifs.
Yeah.
And actually, we're more likely to get what ifs than any other job because it's not like stable.
Have you done a drill for an EV in thermal runaway yet?
Not yet.
Why not, Chris? I did one with my team yesterday and they were like, well, there's not really much like guidance on it, boss, and I said, don't care, not interested. We keep talking about this invisible monster in the woods that we're all going to have to face at some point. Well, today we're going to face it. Yeah. And I told them this about 3 minutes before it.
Yeah.
and put a little smoke Jenny underneath one of the waterproof, like battery powered ones, just put it underneath this car. It wasn't emitting smoke at the pace that I wanted it to, fair enough. So I said, right, we're on the way. We're 6 minutes away. Tell me what your thoughts are. We're going down the motorway. I'm not going to say where, but tell me what your thoughts are. And they were like, okay, well, I mean, is it toxic? Right. Well, talk to me. Talk to me about EV thermal runaway. Talk to me about the gases that's emitting from that. Hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen cyanide, carbon monoxide, very rich, explosive gas. We're thinking about deflagration of that third cloud. We're thinking about, gas, fire gas explosion, so how do we dissipate that? And they're like, okay, I need to water on it. I says, your water or what? I say, and it missed. Right. So I'm going to skip it. We're just going to do it. I'm telling you what we're going to do. I want a hose reel, 40 bar on mist. Yeah. Or on mist or a fine fog constantly. Yeah. So we're going to have 2 BA rapid deployment, and one of you is working on the tool and there's someone stuck in the driver's seat. Okay. They can't get out of that vehicle. Yeah. And they're like, okay, but who's going to do No one's going to do stabilization. No one's going to do stabilization. No one else is going to do glass management. You need to get that person out of that vehicle really quickly in the hope that this cloud does not just explode. And then later on in the day, we looked at a few videos of gas cloud explosions, of deflagration of this third cloud. Because I'm like, it does happen.
Yeah.
And that was a really physically arduous incident because they're in full BA with a mist going on. They can barely see because they've got mist all over their visor constantly. They're trying to operate this tool. They're trying to operate it constantly on their own. No one's there to change over with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Well, they could change with each other. And we ran the incident twice on separate doors, so everyone had to go. Really hard. Physically really hard. Yeah. And they made a mess of the door. One of them did. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it just, everything's fine when it's at walking pace and you've got to, but it's what might happen. It's going to happen. Okay. The math, I'm not inventing the shark infested custard here. This is a job. Okay. Do it. And there was no like, oh, I'm struggling to get through this door. I don't care. It needs to come off. I didn't say that to him, but you know what I mean? I was like, you need to get it done. You need to get it. There's no one else is coming. I mean, someone else is coming, but you're here now. Get it done. I can't come in there. I can't swap over with you. I haven't got a BA set. Okay. You need to do it. Just keep working until you've got it done. You've got air. I get you're exhausted. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
And it's just one micro example. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, that's what you should be training for. That ain't the fitness test.
No, but this is the thing is that, again, we're now starting to monitor the training hours. Where we do sort of
as in physical training, or you mean like tactical training, like
physical training?
Okay.
Instant training, so drilling.
Okay, drilling.
So we're now doing, like, we're supposed to do like 2 hours in the day, 1 hour theory at night, and we've got to balance it all up. The thing is, the amount of theory that has to be done with assessments, and I know they're important, have massively outweighed for a long time the practical element of actually doing it. And that's why they've now brought in these sort of targeted hours. But again, if we have fire calls, then obviously something's got to go off the table. And you're quite right in that it's the physical element of the job that we need to get really good at, that is going to help with that mindset of going, fucking hell, that was tough, and that was training. Like that was a training exercise. And actually that we're training like that because that can happen. That could happen.
Well, I'll also push back for a second and go, just for all the other guests that we have on as well, when we go, the physical side of the job we absolutely need to train for, but culture is where we have our biggest problems as well. You know what I mean? That's one of the biggest problems we have in the fire service. And that's not, we're rubbish at doing the thing when we get to the incident. We're rubbish at caring about people and treating them the way that they're supposed to be treated. So there is a balance, but I don't want to get away from our conversation. But to bring that back, someone said to me, I think a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a guest, they were like, a leader who's in shape sets a standard without even saying a single word.
Yeah.
Without saying a single word, they are a manifestation of their personal standards as soon as you look at them.
Yeah.
Just is what it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that screams or shines an uncomfortable light on the hypocrisy of leaders and or senior leaders who look like a walking melted wheelie bin. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That is not acceptable for me.
I think, and I've had these conversations with people in the past, and it's always one of those uncomfortable ones when you sort of go, there's a difference between a manager and a leader. And I personally don't think that you can call yourself a leader. Somebody else has to be happy to follow you for you to be a leader. And yeah, you're quite right. It does need to come from the top down. And that goes from like chief, area managers, group managers, station managers, and your JOs. If you're looking at those people who are supposed to be in charge of you and going, what's the point? Like if they're not going to put effort in, and you're right, like the chief doesn't need to be carrying ladders anymore, doesn't need to be doing cutting the tools, but he should be able to if he needed to. I'm
going to add the caveat just because I would.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have non-operational leaders in the UK Fire and Rescue Service.
Of course, yeah.
So I will forgive them for the non-operational knowledge, but they should still be a fit, healthy human being.
Yes.
Who is an exemplar of the standard. Do you know what I mean? And again, the people that self-proclaim leadership, I agree it's not for them to call themselves a leader. It's the same with subject matter experts. Yep. If you tell me you're a subject matter expert, go and suck on an exhaust. You can call yourself a subject matter enthusiast if you want to, but it is for someone else to say that you're an expert. Yeah,
just because you've done
enthusiast.
A course. Yeah,
I am an enthusiast. Yeah,
just because you've done a course doesn't mean that you're an expert.
Doesn't mean absolutely anything. No, sorry I interrupted you, but I just wanted to add that context of.
No, of course,
leaders.
They're not the ones, but you're right in the sense. Again, this comes back to like fitness and mindset and everything else, and actually, you get so much more done. You feel so much better in general about the things that you're doing when you're fitter. When you're healthier, your brain works better when you're giving your body what it needs. Like the cognitive element of eating healthy. And we're not talking being a monk and not eating anything whatsoever, but like 80% of your diet should be wholesome food, should be stuff that fuels your body. Like, and it doesn't have to be gross. Like, it doesn't have to be chicken, rice and broccoli all the time. But you know what? Chicken and rice isn't bad.
There's 1,001 things you could find to do with chicken and rice if you just looked on the internet. If you use that thing in your phone for something more useful than being jealous and envious of other people on social media, you'd be astonished what you can find out. But that and it's about, as we get back to those behaviors and habits again, it's about making those marginal improvements, isn't it? It's easier to help people with the 1% than trying to ask them to make a big 50% change to their life. And also, there's a big factor, I think, to encourage people to forgive themselves of what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
You have to get healthy in the same way you got sick. I always say to people that trajectory is more important than position. Like, how do we help people stop obsessing about where they are now and start focusing on the direction they're heading? Because when you're 50, you'd probably trade everything you own to be our age again, to be 35 again. You know, what makes right now more valuable than anything you will ever earn or accumulate moving forwards? How do we help people forgive themselves for where they are and focus on that trajectory is more important than where you are?
I think it's easier the older you get because you've already made so many decisions previously that may or may not have worked for you. I think from my point of view, and obviously my coaching is like it's an element of me. Like it's not, you have to treat everybody as an individual, but ultimately that's what makes anybody's coaching unique, is that it should be you. And for me now, I mean, my biggest marker is I'm turning 40 in February next year, which means that I move up age categories in the Firefighter Challenge as well.
Roll on gold medal.
Oh, well,
Finally.
I tell you what,
reach.
this is, well, no, because
if you're
actually,
ever going to do it, it's then.
This is the point.
Harsh, but you know what I'm saying.
But it's
plus it becomes a barren landscape as you get into the older generations, because as we said before, the trick of a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 28-year-old, every fucker's fit at that age. Do you know what I mean? Show me the Alan Smiths and Rob Greens of the world who are still doing it in their 60s.
And that, I tell you what, it's, and if you want, we can talk about the Firefighter Challenge in a minute, but it's those things that I think.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Gore-Tex Professional Fabrics. Now, we all know the working environment of a firefighter is filled with challenges. We face serious risks on the job, such as heat exhaustion, burns, physical and mental stress, and we frequently come into contact with high levels of toxic chemicals. Now, I have been wearing Gore-Tex for nearly 2 decades on the front line, working in hostile environments, tackling challenging incidents from firefighting to water incidents and in urban search and rescue environments. Gore-Tex have a well-earned reputation for protecting professionals in the fire and emergency services through their family of highly innovative, waterproof, breathable moisture barriers that exceeds global performance standards and are trusted worldwide. Gore-Tex, going further together.
You're in a point in time. Whenever you look at yourself now, it's just a period in time. And you generally have like the decision of which way you go from this point in time.
Yeah. Every day.
But you've got to sit down and you've got to think about it. And sometimes you've got to actually talk out loud to yourself as well and go, am I happy where I currently am? And if the answer's no, you do need to define certain things, what you're not happy with. Why aren't you happy with it? What can you do about it? Do you need help to do something about it? What can you put in place today to help you? What can you put in tomorrow? What do you can put in like a month's time, 6 months' time to keep you going?
What is the smallest action step that I could take today?
Yeah.
What is the tiniest, most insignificant, almost pathetic movement that I could intentionally take in this direction today, right now? Definitely something.
It's like when you think of like people eating biscuits around the mess table, you know, some of them have like 5 or 6 biscuits. If they had 4, they're still having 4 biscuits, but they're not having 6. That's that little bit of progress and movement towards something different. Because at that moment in time, if you have 6, you're staying where you are. If you have 4, that's a little bit of progress. And it's the sort of, I say it in kind of a sense of the term, the draconian like 10,000 steps a day. Obviously it's a marker. No one really knows where it comes from, but it sort of equates to about 500 calories a day.
Okay.
Now, I know from being on shift and being stuck at a desk a lot of the time, if I don't go to the gym and make a concerted effort to do some movement, there is a good chance that if I leave station at the end of shift, it will be about 5,000-6,000 steps, if not less. And I think being aware of where you are is a massive tool to mean that you can actually progress forward. If you have no clue where you are, you can't put something in place because you're just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks. And while some of it will work, like sometimes like people come to me and go, I know I need to change, I just don't know what I need to do. And that's exactly what I'm here for. It's that guidance, but also having that person on your shoulder. And that's for anybody. Like, I mean, I've got a coach myself. I've got a business coach. I've got a coach with my fitness as well, because somebody else has done something that I want to do. And I know that I've got like things in like my coaching business that aren't quite right. But I don't know what I necessarily need. I know that they're not right. So going for that help or searching that help out. So with people with their diet, they'll know if their diet is good or not. And a lot of the time, people will turn around and go,
they don't need a nutritionist to assess it.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah. It's like
they might need a nutritionist to help them.
Yes.
But
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But it's those little bits of going, right, how should something look? And again, we assume when people go like, oh, you know what you need to do to eat healthy. Well, I know that I need to stop eating that so much, but I don't know that and again, this is that there's sort of two ways that we can look at this. Yes, it's an individual person's responsibility. They should the internet is there. You should be able to search, but sometimes the internet is that vast. Social media is that vast.
And it's full of cowboys. Really convincing cowboys.
Yeah. And actually getting through all of that noise and going, I don't know what to do, because there's this person going, do this. There's this person saying, do that. I don't know which way to turn. And it is really difficult when you've got yourself into those, like for you and me, certain habits are in place that are healthy habits. And I'm sure we couldn't imagine not being without them. And sort of going, God, I don't know how people struggle so much doing this, because I do this all the time. It's like, but that's only because you've got those habits ingrained. At some point, you didn't have that, or you didn't do that. Now you do. So you do look at people that aren't doing it and going, I don't understand how you can do that. But it's easy.
I think the fitness craze thing is probably what makes it really hard for people when we do say, oh, you know the thing, because they pop up like mushrooms after rain. No one really knows where they came from. Suddenly everyone's either eating them, wearing them, or fucking doing squats on them. Do you know what I mean? So there's a new fitness craze every single week, whether it's swinging kettlebells and chanting affirmations, or cold plunges, or you see some of them are mad. I'm convinced the next one will be like extreme blinking to build eyelid strength or some bullshit.
God, yeah.
Like how do you help debunk some of those myths? Because people will say, I'm sure you have it every day, like, Chris, I appreciate what you're saying, but have you seen this? I saw Usain Bolt say that he used to take, he said he ate chicken nuggets. And this is actually a genuine story, if you remember it. Like on the morning of when he broke the 100 meters and won the gold, he had chicken nuggets in the morning. Then he went back to the village and slept for a bit. And then he went back and had some more McDonald's chicken nuggets before he did his race. Now, that was just because, people don't know, a lot of people were getting food poisoning and getting a bit sick from eating food from the Olympic Village that they weren't sure of. So he just wanted something safe, really sterilized. So no tests on game day. Don't do any new trials on game day. But people will take that away and go, I held Arnold Schwarzenegger say he took 26 grams of creatine versus 17. And you're like, that's step 347. Talk to me about step 1. Have you had 5 liters of water today and did you sleep 8 hours? Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about what that person was or wasn't doing. Plus, if you went into his story, Arnold Schwarzenegger also took a lot of steroids.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's not, the fake influencers,
people,
is a tough one to, And this is coming from someone, when I was young, I took a lot of banned substances. I did the drugs and the steroids and the growth hormone in my early 20s. So I don't pretend to sit here and I wouldn't know what good looks like from a teenager's point of view, because I went straight off the heavily walked path into some craziness, and my body and my muscles and my sex drive and everything paid a massive cost for it. So I wouldn't speak to anybody from some upon high god of fitness, because I've made loads of mistakes.
But then I think certain things, I mean, social media, yeah, you're right, there are so many, it's almost like the snake oil.
Yeah,
they're people that are proclaiming at some point to be natural, and they're
fake
not.
natties.
Fake natties, and it's like, and I think the problem we've got now, fake natty, taking like substances or not, you can't just take performance enhancing drugs and they're a miracle drug. You've still got to do something, for it to be there. But
that's the pit I defend. People like that on, because for someone who used to take steroids as well, I'm like, taking steroids, and steroids is one example. We'll talk about this stuff in a minute, but it's like they are still doing a shit ton of work.
Yes,
it is not magical anything. To decide to take a black market drug that you don't really know where it came from, you're pretty far down the obsessive route already. You're probably already training like an absolute savage.
Yeah.
And, people go, oh, Lance Armstrong only won his medals because he took steroids. No, he fucking didn't.
No.
You know what I mean? He was already one of the strongest people in the field, if not the strongest in the field.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's become the new bar.
Yes. And but it's easy for people that are doing nothing to not understand what
and
they
also to
do.
write off the good because of the bad. Like, so-and-so goes, drink 5 liters a day, I keep my protein 2 grams per kilo of body weight or whatever, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah, and total transparency, I do inject 2 mil of test or whatever a week. And someone goes, oh, well, the rest of that is bullshit then, because you're just that way because you take performance enhancing drug.
Yeah.
And then they throw the baby out with the bathwater. So that's why people like that should probably just stay out of the goddamn space.
Yeah.
But of course they never will, because they can. Yeah. But it's made worse by, The Rock and, Chris Hemsworth and everyone else who's clearly taking steroids.
Yeah.
But the people just live in a bubble.
But again, it's,
you know what I mean?
It's that thing now where we've actually got some of these older celebrities that are taking testosterone replacement therapy. So they're now legally taking...
Talk to me about that, Chris.
Oh, well.
Oh, controversial.
So
I'll lead by saying I will absolutely be on board with doing it whenever my blood tests suggest that it's necessary, in my 40s, 50s, whatever. But I'll let you go first, and then I'll come in and... I
had a blood test this year.
I know you did. That's why I wanted to bring it in. I saw it.
There is. There's a lot of stuff, and to be honest, it's still there.
I was surprised to hear you were pregnant again.
I know. I mean, that was the strangest thing.
Sleeping with all them boys.
I know. It just happened.
It happens. But what happens on station stays on.
Exactly. Anyway, it's a close watch. But it's one of those.
Me and my dad do everything together. It's fine. Carry on, please.
It's when they call me daddy that's the problem.
That is the one. Go on.
It was one of those things where some of the things I felt, like a bit of fatigue, like sex drive wasn't quite where I thought it should be or where it had been in the past. So I had this blood test and I was like, you know what? Some of the markers came back as a little bit low. Mm-hmm. So having the meeting with the doctor, and again, it's one of those things, I think nobody thinks it will happen to them. I think it's one of those that now it's more prevalent, and kind of the message again is getting out there going, you know what, it's a test, have a look, like it can affect you. But I spoke to this doctor, and to be fair, the doctor turned around and she goes, well, your testosterone levels are within the acceptable levels,
quote unquote normal range.
Yeah. However
who wants to be normal?
Well, what she actually said was it is within normal range. However, what you say you do fitness-wise, health-wise, what you do for a job, everything else and your age, it's on the low end of everything. So the first sort of port of call, which I've been doing like natural supplements and stuff, was to try and boost it naturally. I'll have another blood test probably in January, see where it is then, and if it hasn't shifted, then look at the next sort of stage. But after, what was it, after 30? Was it 1%?
After 30,
after 30, males, your testosterone tends to drop or start to drop. And it's something that is now being spoken about more, but it has such an impact, and it can make you feel shit. Your sex drive goes down, like your muscle mass and everything, if you're not doing stuff to try and combat it. You know, there's all these things. I mean, we're lucky in the sense that we just have testosterone, but the testosterone replacement is the equivalent of the female HRT. Like,
women have been taking it for years.
Yeah.
And this is where I think it's sexist in reverse, because even if you just go from the biology, women experience, dramatic hormone cliff when they hit menopause, and that can hit at different ages. Estrogen, progesterone don't gently decline, they drop fast and hard for women. That creates the predictable cluster of symptoms, hot flushes, bone loss, their genital, they have urogenital issues, mood disruption, and it became an accepted thing that they would start taking HRT because the effect is obvious, both in physiological and psychological. It's clear that they need it. But men and men's testosterone, they don't fall off a cliff. It drifts slowly, often barely perceptibly. The decline is not universal. The symptoms can be caused by sleep deprivation, obesity, stress, shift work, alcohol, medications. Type 2 diabetes is a big lifestyle factor for it. So when men show up with low mood, tired, it's usually not necessarily a deficiency in the testosterone at first, and we just think, it's getting old. And it makes TRT trickier as a clinical decision. But for decades, society has framed menopause as a medical condition that needs treating. When women have a problem, society says, what can we do about this? But men are just told to tough it out and man up. When men have a problem, we're like, well, what are you going to do about it? That created a world where female HRT is mainstream and male TRT is treated like a vanity bodybuilding project or shortcuts. And that's what I think bothers me and discourages men from seeking things that would make a dramatic improvement in their mental health, in the ability they show up as a partner or a father or a spouse or an employee or a friend. You know?
I think it's kind of systemic of how men are seen in society still, and how you're perceived as a man. It's like, your testosterone dropped. Do you need help to bring that up, do you? Like the whole mental health conversation. It's like speaking up as a man and going, I'm not okay, something's not right. It's starting to shift, but there's still so many pockets of it, of going like, what's up now? Like, deal with it kind of thing. It's that almost suffering silence element of it.
MSA are supporting us on today's podcast, and I chose to partner with them because I've been wearing this stuff for nearly 20 years, and they are the global leader in development, manufacture, and supply of incredible, safe products that really protect people, not just our communities out there, but also first responders, most importantly, all over the world. Get yourself over to MSA and have a look at it. The high-performance protective clothing for emergency services responders. They also partner with us on the UK Pink Firefighters. That's because we love them. The helmets with the reflective visor, the F1XF, absolutely epic helmet. And not forgetting how they improve firefighter safety through their connectivity in the connected firefighter platform. MSA are always pushing the envelope, and it's a real privilege to be able to continue to grow our partnership together. So whether it's your PPE, your bunker gear, your helmets, your SCBA, your thermal imaging, your Luna, or your portable gas detection, both of us know that this equipment needs to work. It needs to be high quality, reliable, and dependable in the moment. And that's why I use MSA, because they know what's at stake. They think men are requesting it for the wrong reasons. They think we're chasing youth and performance and libido rather than treating it as a true deficiency.
Yeah.
You know, and that I just don't think it's a fair way that we assess it. And I think it frames men as weak, old, erectile dysfunction, useless. We just want them to steadily go away into the silence of old age
Yeah.
and not make a fuss.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
it's such a big thing, and it can make such a big difference to so many people. And honestly, I would encourage anybody over the age of 30, just have a blood test and see where you are.
I need to get one of them on. I need to get one of those testosterone testing companies on to talk about it, because TRT is way more tightly controlled, because they say testosterone deficiency is far less common, but I think it's far less common because you don't test for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's a half truth.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to go out of your way to get that test yourself. Like doctors.
I think both sexes deserve proper hormone care with precision, evidence, and honesty, you know, rather than just stereotypes or the excuse that we're taking shortcuts. We don't say to women, just learn to age gracefully and get fat and be useless at your job and struggle with hot flushes and struggle with life. That's nature, darling. All right, struggle with it. We'd never say that. We would never say that, because no one wants to see women go through that. But it's okay for men.
Yeah, it's just that. It's just that. Shut up and get on with it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's a rough one for us. Probably a really provocative one.
oh God, yeah.
I thought that might be a nice segue to get into some more of the mental elements of it, because we spoke a lot about the physical elements, but people can feel a lot of stress, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety around making changes in their life. And even if they know a change is required, they can be very anxious to do it. I always try and tell people that the cure for anxiety is action, but that's a very atypical, knuckle-dragging, toxic male opinion. You know, the idea that the cure for anxiety is action, that we suffer more from the imagination rather than we do reality. The idea that if we were to make a sudden change, would someone leave us? Would it work? Would it go horribly wrong? Would I be embarrassed? You've spoken openly about, I think was your ulcerative colitis?
Yes.
And the fear around the fitness tests?
Oh God. Yeah.
How was, talk to me on that for a minute.
So actually the ulcerative colitis, I've mentioned it in bits. I was going to, because again, it's one of those, I haven't spoken about it massively. Like I was going to do a full on post, because I know there's loads of people that suffer with like bowel stuff. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Before I got diagnosed, I nearly shit myself at work. It was one of those. I know. It was one of them where, you know, is it a fart? Is it not?
Never trust a fart.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, it was, but it's one of those where I was fearful. And it's that whilst I know something's wrong, whilst I don't get a test, I don't know what it is. And I tell you what, there's an element of comfort in that, like genuinely. And this is where, you know, something's not right.
I don't want to know what's wrong.
I don't want to know what's wrong. Yeah. Exactly. It's literally, and I'll tell you what, do not Google anything. The first thing you do is cancer. It's either cancer or you've just had a dodgy curry. Like it's one of those two. And that almost goes down for everything. But it's one of those things that when I got diagnosed and they sort of came out and they were like, right, so we've done the biopsies, had the camera up my bum and everything. That was fun. Like
Wicked.
just chatting away to the doctor as he's there going, yeah, is that all right? Yeah. I'll do it.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah. It's like, but it's like when they actually come out and they go, right, we've had it confirmed, you've got ulcerative colitis. Now, at the moment, we don't know how bad it is. We don't know how far round your intestine it's going. There's basically one of two like courses of treatment. You've either got to be on medication for the rest of your life, and we may be able to control it with some sort of diet changes, or we have to take out a section of your intestine and you've got to have a bag fitted. It's like that. That's the two. And I remember...
They're never a good fashion accessory, are they?
And I tell you what, the first thing I thought was, how is this going to affect my job?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to be able to be a firefighter with a shit bag on?
Mm-hmm.
And that was... But what that was the anxiety, because I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that
was your imagination creating future
that's my imagination.
Fears and monsters in the closet. Yeah.
It's created. I haven't got the answers. So what my brain does is straight away go, this is going to happen. It fills that part of the story that you haven't got. And from that, I mean, luckily it's ended up with medication. And when I actually sort of learn about it and where it was and sort of like part way up the large intestine and all that, the medication has slowly gone down to the point where I'm like one tablet a day, but that's forever. And part of the issue is they don't know what causes it. It's just an autoimmune disease. So they don't know what causes it. They don't know how to sort of stop it from starting, but they've got something that can control it. As soon as you have the answers for that, you go, oh, okay, that's fine. I can deal with this then. I've got the medication. And I know as well, there are certain foods that if I have a shitload of it, it'll upset it. So like fatty, greasy foods, it'll upset it. Like it's one of those things I know. But all of those anxieties that went into that were there because I didn't know. I didn't have the answer. I didn't know what was going to happen. And that goes for pretty much everyone that is having a thought process about something that they need to change or something that's coming forward. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. But what your brain does is goes, but this could be the worst case scenario. And having to sit yourself down and almost try and calm and go, right, okay, this is one of the scenarios. This is just one scenario that could happen. But there's all these other scenarios that need to come into play. And I don't have enough information at this time to decide which scenario it's going to be. But whilst you stay in your mind and you keep going, right, it's just like those ideas bouncing around off the inside of your head.
That's what I say about action. Because trying to think your way out of a thinking problem is like trying to sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. You need to at least start taking one step in some sort of direction. Because only then, we don't know what's around the corner. We can make a decision about what's around the corner when we get to the corner.
Yeah.
But until we get there, we're just inventing shit.
Yeah. But sometimes you have to take that step back and actually admit and go, I haven't got enough information at this point to make a definitive like course on this issue.
How do we shrink that back down into the here and now? Let's take it back, because I'm conscious about our time. I want to be respectful of you on my time, and I'd love to have you back on, mate. I really enjoyed our conversation. We're going to split this into two parts because we've done like an hour and a bit on both of them, so we'll do a double hit on this one. People are moving towards, by the time this comes out, people will be rapidly progressing towards New Year's. Big time for gym goers. Everyone rejoins in January.
Yeah.
And they say they're going to do all this stuff. And the problem is, at the minute, they might be doing nothing. You know, you are what you do, not what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
The magic is usually that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. So when you think about helping people as they move into this January period, and I'm sure you'll have a load of people join up with you in January, and that's great. But most people are waiting for that January. They're waiting for the perfect conditions to start. But what they often don't realize is that starting is the perfect condition. Do you know what I mean? How do you give me some examples of people that you've had or you have in your program who started before they felt they were ready?
So the biggest thing there is that if you wait until your perception of ready, then it might never come. And exactly like we've spoken about with the action.
You're never going to get all them ducks in a row. Yeah.
You're never going to get all those ducks in a row. But also, what you'll do is you'll stop when stuff gets difficult because it's not perfect. So you'll always be searching out for that perfect condition. I can't do this because of why. One of the things that I coach a lot of is about baseline. Getting in a set of baseline habits and baseline situations that inevitably, when life does give you lemons, you've got something to fall back on. It's about those foundations. If you don't build solid foundations that you revert to, you revert to your previous habits. And this is where pretty much everyone within my coaching program that has been or is now. So I've got someone at the moment, she's coming to a point where she's dead busy at work. She's doing a part-time job as well. She'll admit herself, she's had a few excuses. She even messaged me going, I ended up doing a couple of workouts because I knew that when I checked in that I had no excuses to give. And you'd give me shit for it. It's like, yeah, damn right I will. It's about holding people to account. But ultimately, if somebody goes, I have not done any workouts this week because work has been manic. I've been like on shift, or obviously like, because I coach people that are trying to get in as well. They're in 9-to-5 jobs. They've got families. They're single parents, everything else. It's that thing of going, okay, what have you done then? Have you done everything you can do? Has your diet been good? Have you tried to be as active as you possibly can?
Yeah.
How has your sleep been? You know, how's your stress levels been? All of those things of going, if you fall back to those, you haven't gone as far back as you think you have.
Yes.
And that's that foundation to work from, is that even when everything is so busy, I mean, I used to train, I'd happily train 6 times a week because I enjoyed it as well. But if I did that now, I'd struggle to get anything else done. So sometimes it's kind of I try and give people the tools to go, right, so your program that is in there now is like 3 to 4 days a week. But you know what? If you struggle to get those 3, those 2 workouts are the ones that I'd like you to do. If you struggle to get like 2, that's the one I'd like you to do. It's having that.
Don't make good the enemy of perfect.
Yeah, it's understanding that there needs to be flexibility, especially in what we do with shift work, that turning around and going, right, what I want you to do, you're going to be rigid. And I mean, we can't work Monday to Friday.
That's what I see with 21-year-old personal trainers getting it wrong all the time. Because you're speaking from a lens of, you've got no kids, you've got no full-time job, you live with your parents. You know what I mean? You can't wrap your head around what is involved in this adult's life. You have no context.
No.
You know what I mean? If you tell me you're a 25-year-old life coach, get to fuck.
No, not a chance. It's like you don't. It's only when you step back and you look and you go, holy shit, you know, I can't do that. Like I can't train that. Like when you see these ones going, oh, you've just got to train 4 to 5 times a week to do this.
Yeah.
What? How? Like 60-minute, 90-minute sessions. It's like some people can. Like some people make that opportunity. I do occasionally. Like I enjoy it. It's one of those things you sort of get in and you start.
I'm going to do it
stuff
straight after this.
Yeah.
That's what me and my missus are going straight after this.
Perfect. Like
then we're going to do all that and we're going to have a nice sauna and then we're going to go for some afternoon brunch. Love it. Probably not brunch in the afternoon, is it? Whatever that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. but that's because my daughter's not with me this weekend. I don't do that every weekend.
But if she was, then you do something different.
Life would. I got it done before this in the garage this morning where I've got very little kit. It would have been totally different. It wouldn't have been an Instagram worthy fucking workout. I promise you that.
But that's the point. It would have been. And this is where we need to change some of those perspectives.
Point. I love that. Yeah.
Is that, you know, it's the perspective of what you've done. It's the perception of what you've done. Oh, I've only done that. No. You haven't only done that. You've done that. You've made that opportunity. You've taken that opportunity with that option that you've got available to you now. You chose to do something instead of nothing, but also nothing sometimes may be the answer. It's that thing of going, if you miss one, only make it one. Don't make it 2, 3.
I think so much of what we're talking about here, because you've alluded to it there, and I think it's a great place for us to wrap up and perhaps close with, is you've got a really brilliant sort of queen bee analogy, which I think maps perfectly into like fit for rescue. And you probably can't relate to it, but what I mean is great people, greatness is not always like genetics. You know, it's what happens when someone ordinary is given extraordinary support. You know, we help raise more queen bees. You know, with your story, I think it's really important to think about when an ordinary person is given extraordinary support, how much the community in Fit for Rescue is actually about people feeding each other and feeding them better futures rather than just swapping gym programs. You know, that's more than what your guides do. And putting out those things in your life, surrounding yourself by those people. They say your vibe attracts your tribe, don't they? You know what I mean? So talk to me about how your community is about how people are given extraordinary support and who originally perhaps felt alone until they found others on a similar journey to themselves.
Oh God, like I am not the Fit for Rescue community.
No.
I'm just like a facilitator. The people within it that have come through the coaching. And the biggest thing that I do, I know that other coaches go, once you've finished coaching, there's the door, get out. I don't. Like everybody has a journey. And sometimes, like we started off with, sometimes that journey stops with you and they move on to other people. Nobody leaves the Fit for Rescue community if they don't want to. They're still in there. The support that everybody gives. And I shit you not, we've had stuff from crocheting to baking cakes. Like we've had boyfriend stuff. I was called a matchmaker the other day because someone's now working in a gym and apparently she wouldn't have been in the gym if it wasn't for me, and she had a new friend come round.
Beautiful.
But it's
we
those
like having nice friends.
Exactly. Nice friends is good. But it's stuff like that. But as well, trying to get, I mean, I've been a bit shit at it, trying to organise actual events, but actually getting everyone together.
It's more than that. And that's it. We have this with the podcast all the time. People say like, oh, let's do a big get together. Fucking hell. Like, we've got international guests or national listeners all over the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, don't make good the enemy perfect. If we met up and there was only 200-300 people there, that'd be incredible. But it's don't make great the enemy perfect. You know what I mean? What you're doing now with the virtual community, you know, is incredible. And they all step up. And I see the Fit for Rescue t-shirts on loads of different people that I didn't know knew you or were involved with you. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of social indicators where you go, oh, there's a lot of people that have connected with the community around Chris, not necessarily just Chris.
It's that thing of going, when you feel like you're part of something, it's really important. And it's like what I put, it's inclusive. It's massively inclusive coaching. This is not just about, you know, a shape. This is not about fat loss. It's about performance. It's about fat loss. It's whatever you want it to be. It will shape that. Like it's giving people a place to go where they don't necessarily know what they want. They know that they're struggling. They're either like they're firefighters now that are struggling. They're people that want to be firefighters that aren't sure what they need to do or want that extra boost, want that person in their corner, but not just a person, a group of people. And that is what I bill it as. It's not just me. Like it's everybody else within the community that gets behind you if you use it for that purpose. Like everybody's there to give you that push. Regularly, there are people turning around. And this is the brilliant thing. And I'll always say people to do this. If you're quiet, you don't want that help. You're there. Like if you decide not to go to the gym and you go, I'm not going to post anything. I'm not going to put in there that I'm not going to the gym today. You don't want to go. Like it's difficult. But when I see those messages of people going, I need some motivation this morning. I'm really struggling to do this. I'm really struggling to get out of bed. Can people help? And then you see message after message after message of just that support. And then you see the one going, thanks very much. I've got in the gym and it's amazing. I'm so glad that like I used it like that. And also the amount of gifts that go on in there as well.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And
gift game is strong.
Gift game is strong. But that's what it's bigger and better than I ever could have thought it would have been. It's and I've let it go. It's a path of its own. It now develops into stuff that gives people a place to feel like everybody knows each other. And that sort of proved it when we did the Wolf Run a couple of months ago. Nobody had ever met each other before, but everybody knew each other. It wasn't weird. It was just a nice thing that everybody was doing and encouraging each other. But yeah,
I think that's exactly what we've accidentally plugged into with the 343.
Yeah.
Like that's Scotty's and Olivia and Bam's and Will's and everyone's other baby as well. But so many people, maybe even all of them, I don't know, that are on there have also interacted with the podcast at some point in time. And there's some incredible people. And it's going to be such a banging, incredible, crazy, weird experience. It's going to be awesome. It is, mate, isn't it? Like just that massive cohort of people going out to do this incredible adventure on behalf and in solidarity with the UK Fire and Rescue Service and all of our brothers and sisters around the world.
Oh, massively.
Mate, that's going to be a wicked one. Dude, we've done over 2.5, nearly 3 hours together today. So, time flies when you're having fun. But, mate, I absolutely love what you do. We've known each other for a number of years now. I think you're an incredible self-aware ambassador that's out there. Helping so many people. If people want to find out some more, both in this, which will be the second episode, and the first episode, there's links and notes below this to go over and find out a little bit more about Fit for Rescue. We'll put in an internet link, we'll put in a social media Instagram link, and we'll probably stick another thing on there you'll probably ask me for afterwards, or I'll ask you for, sorry. We'll put something in there for people to go and find a little bit more. There's paid ways to get involved, there's free ways to get involved, there's downloadable resources, there's easy hacks, hard hacks, depending on what you need for where you are. So, mate, I really do appreciate you. I appreciate you as a friend and the connection and contacts that we have through WhatsApp. And the people will never see any of that. You don't do it for any feedback or anything like that. We've been friends for years and you've never been on the podcast, so you don't ask for anything. You just give and forget and then receive and remember. Do you know what I mean? You're one of those that just puts it out there because it feels like the right thing to do. So I appreciate you as a friend. You help me be a better person, and I really look forward to having you on again in the future, mate.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much for having me on. It's been fun.
Brother. Well, that's it for today, folks. Hope you took a lot away from that episode. We started the Firefighters podcast to develop, inspire, connect, motivate, represent, and most importantly, celebrate the world of incredible emergency services operators and the wider sector through this series of wide-ranging conversations. We really love creating this podcast and bringing it to so many people. Did you know you can also find these on YouTube? We do a lot of video podcasts now. You can head over to our YouTube page and follow, subscribe there. And as a final ask from us, whatever platform you're on, please rate the podcast. It really helps us as a key performance indicator to reach more and more people. I've been your host, Pete Wakefield. This has been the Firefighters podcast. And wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be happy, live with intention, and where possible, please remember and support your firefighters and first responders. I'll see you next time.